Hey, welcome to the Workshop of Wood Spun Around. This is Doug. It is good to see you. Getting ready to do a little project. You've seen some of this project before. It's been, I don't know, several weeks back. I did a whole series of pins. Did 10 pins for Freedom Pin Project. Going through our club, worldwidewoodturners.org. Online club. You're welcome to come any Wednesday night. We start at 7 o'clock Eastern time. It's through Zoom, but you go to worldwidewoodturners.org and hit the click to go to meeting button, and it'll take you into Zoom, and then we have our meeting. It's free. You're welcome to join at any time. Participate as much or as little as you like. We really want you to participate as much. It's a great time. But anyway, all of that aside, Freedom Pins. This is Memorial Day, and the challenge was put out for us to do 22 pins over by Memorial Day weekend. And so I did 10 a while back, and I just haven't gotten back to them. And so today we're going to finish out. We're going to do the other 12. Right here are 4 of the pin blanks I'm going to use. There's 5 more, and then there is another. That's 9. I've got another 3 pins, a different style that I'm going to make. These are a little different from the last ones I did. So anyway, I'm going to make these 9, then I'll make the other 3. I'll show you, I'm going to show you one step along the way, and I'll do both pins for you. So you'll end up seeing 2 pins being made. You'll see the entire 12 at the very end. So I'm going to reestablish everything or reset up everything. We're going to be drilling our pin blanks next. Using a square along with a hand screw so that we can clamp this down nice and straight. They'll be perpendicular to the bed. The clamp will hold it straight up and down from this direction. My square helps me going in this direction, so now my hole will be straight. There's 1. 8 more of these to go. All right, I have glued all 9 of my blanks together. Or excuse me, not glued them together. I have drilled them all. Got all 9 of them drilled. It took just a couple of minutes is all, very quickly. With that setup, especially for me, that's just an easy way for me to do it. I have done it before where I clamped the clamp down so it didn't move. And I'd had one, I used one screw or the other to get the clamp tight and to loosen it back up, but I don't find that I need that. In fact, if I leave it loose, once I clamp the blank in the clamp, then I can move the entire assembly together to get somewhat center. It doesn't have to be exact. I've got plenty of room. However, if I clamp it up sometimes and I not pay attention to what I'm doing, and this blank can get just a little tilted one direction or the other, it can get where it's too thin on the bottom end. And I had that very situation, and I'm sorry I didn't have the tape rolling, and I could have shown that to you then, but just wanted to explain to you, make sure as you start to drill, as I'm using a brad point, so when that center point gets on top of the wood and starts marking it, I look at it, and does it look like it's somewhat straight? If it's tilted a little bit, I could run out of room because I don't have just a heap lot. You can see there, this one's not dead center. It's closer on this end. It's still off. but it's not dead center there. And it can get so close that you don't have enough meat. This one still has plenty of meat. So I just want to explain that to you. Again, I'm going to reset up and I will show you the next step in the process. All right, what you can see here in the picture, several things. One, you see my brass tubes, and they have, you can see there, they've been sanded just to scuff them up so the glue has a little bit of something to bite. Here are my 9 pin blanks. One is a little odd, it's a little different. That's because it's not the same thing. These are all oak. I showed way back making these pin blanks. That's some church pew that was given to me out of oak. This is a piece of cherry that was laying there close. I could get 2 of these out of each stick of my oak, which left me an odd one. So here's the cherry to make up for that. And as it turned out, I didn't need the cherry anyway because I had one blank that was didn't work out. Behind everything, way over here, there they are. These are the pin kits still lined up except for the brass tubes. I've got my CA glue. I've got my accelerator. Let me get my pin insertion tube and or a pin insertion tool, and we will start sticking the tubes into the blanks. As you see this is a piece that was purchased from Woodcraft. That is not a necessary item. It's one of those things it's nice to have, but it's not necessary. You can make one yourself. All you need is let me pull this back out just a little bit. There we go. Now you can see better what I'm doing. Yeah. You can turn yourself a pin insertion tube. It's just something so that you can keep the glue off your hands a little better. That can be a difficult thing. I do know that there are people who do pin turning who do not use a pin insertion tube at all. In fact, I've seen some who use their bare hands. Some use gloves, which if you're not going to use an insertion tube, I would think you'd want to use some gloves. Okay, that one's in. There's one. Start lining them up over on the other side there. And I do that because I don't want the blanks to get confused. Sorry, I keep going off camera. Part of that is to keep things off of my little tray here. I go part way in with mine, giving them a good twist as I do to spread the glue, but get glue in that other end. All right, I'm gonna have to get a little glue on my finger, I'm afraid. There we go. All right, that tube is still a little loose. There we go. Anyway, if I do this away from my tray just a little, yeah, you can still see. I don't get as much glue on my tray that way. Keeps it a little neater. Wiggle that around, and quite often my tube will come loose, or my insert tool will come loose. I like to buy my accelerator in a little larger container, and then put it in this atomizer can or spray bottle. It was bought, it's sold just for that purpose. It works extremely well. I can get my accelerator a good bit less expensive. And then when it gets here, I let all the pressure out of my can, make sure there's no pressure in it, and then that top just twists off. And as you can see, that black nub there, it's sticking out of the side right here. That is a Schrader valve that allows me then to put air pressure on that. I will usually put air pressure on it one time. That one time is generally enough that that can will be empty. Will there be no more accelerator in it before the air pressure runs out? I'm not sure exactly how that works, how it stays pressurized, that well pressurized that long. The first time I used it, it was 3 or 4 years, I guess, before I ever had before I ran out and had to get more. So it holds a good bit of accelerator, holds a good bit of air pressure. All right, I'm gonna finish these up off camera. I'll bring you back here in just a couple of minutes. All right, we're back here at the drill press, and I am going to show you scoring these up. What we have here is a barrel trimmer. This section here just simply goes down inside the brass sleeve just to make sure everything is good and square. This little fluted section right here will knock out any glue that might be down in there. This 4-way cutter or 4-tooth cutter cuts the end of the wood, and all you're doing is making it flat and perpendicular to the tube, and it cleans off all the glue and all that kind of thing. I'm going to put it in this vise loosely. Doesn't have to be real tight, and the only reason I'm doing that is to hold it so it doesn't try to spin. We only do just a little bit at a time until I can see the end of the brass tube that's nice and shiny, and I know it's gotten done. The other side is already done the same way. Just want to grab one more here. Let you see just one more here. Go ahead and give that a little snugging up. Hope I'm not getting in the way of the camera. Go slowly to get started, just so that shaft gets in the brass tube and doesn't tear it up. There you go. Just little bits at a time until I get down to that brass tube and it's nice and shiny. There we go. There we are. That's 2 of them done. I'll get the other 7 done and bring you right back. Our next step is over here at the lathe. We've done a lot of stuff already. We've cut the blanks to length. We've drilled them. We've glued the tubes in. We have squared the tubes, or squared the barrels. So everything's ready for us. Next thing to do is to turn them. So here are the bushings that have to go on. There's one, and we slide the blank on, put the other bushing in. We have to hold that somehow. So here in the tailstock, and I'll bring it up now, we have let me loosen this. In the tailstock, what we've got, instead of a regular live center, we've got what's called a mandrel saver. And what the mandrel saver does is it is hollow. It's hollow right here. As I tighten this up, I'll show you. The reason for that is so that we can put pressure, instead of putting pressure on the mandrel in, instead of having this shortened and having a nut that tightens this down and then putting pressure here in the end, what I'm going to do is I'm going to allow this mandrel to go into the mandrel saver, and all my pressure is going to be right here on this bushing, and so it goes bushing, wood, bushing into the headstock. It's not on the mandrel itself, which is a good thing. Okay, so we're going to tighten it down right here. Got plenty of wheeled travel. So now we're good and tight. Don't know if you can hear that music in the background. My son is upstairs. He is in his bedroom. He's practicing his saxophone. I am not about to go tell him to quit because he needs the practice. He doesn't practice nearly enough. I wish he'd practice a lot more. But that's what he does. That's his love. And now that he's in there practicing, I'm going to let him at it. All right, I got everything tightened. Let's unlock the spindle. We're going to give it a twirl just to make sure. We'll turn the speed down. This will probably be the last time it's slow until we are ready to finish up. I'm going to use a bowl gouge today. All right, we've got it run up to 2,000 RPMs. A little different noise when I'm using the mandrel saver, and I'm not sure exactly why that is, but it does. But anyway, I'm going to use a bowl gouge simply because that's a quicker tool for me. I like using a skew. It does a great job, but I'm going to use a bowl gouge just because for me it's a little bit quicker. I will have my face shield on. Even though it is rare, this thing can fall apart. This wood can fall apart, kind of explode, and when it does, I don't want it hit my face. I've got my sandpaper right here on the headstock. My finish is behind me. I'm not sure what finish we're going to use today, but we'll get to it here in a minute. Let's get to turning. right, just that quick. We have turned it, sanded from 100 up to 320. I'm going to add some sanding sealer. I do that for two reasons. One, it helps seal the wood. It gives it, it's like a pre-finish. You could call it a primer. Not like a paint primer, but just a clear primer to get that wood surface ready for finish. All right, I just decided we're going to use OB Shine Juice. I'm going to put about, I don't know, I'll do 5 or 6 coats of this as a base. And then we'll wax on top of that. All right, just a few drops there, just to get a base coat on there. Turn it on, still at 2,000 RPMs. Just a little bit of pressure. You want a little bit of heat to build up. This is a shellac base finish. Doesn't take a lot of heat, but it wants a little bit of heat just to help set it. There's 5 coats. That was 5 coats of OB Shine Juice. I declare. My can opener has disappeared. I'm sure I set it down somewhere where it didn't belong. I'll run across it one of these days. I'm going to use Hampshire Sheen paste wax today. It's just a good wax. A lot of carnauba in it, and it's quick. Just that quick. I put it on. I'm gonna put my lid back on. Now we're gonna buff it out. Virtually no pressure here. Just letting the paper towel and the speed of the pen do its job. Then I'll apply just a little more pressure, not much. There we go. And just like that, we're finished with that one. That's number one. Wow, I wish that wasn't making quite so much noise. And I think it's just a difference, just the difference in how the pressure is on those bearings. It's the only thing I can figure. All right, I'll bring you back once we've done the other 8 and we're ready for assembly. All right. It has been a couple of days actually. All this other was done on Friday. Today is actually, no, I'm sorry, that was done on Saturday. Saturday afternoon while I was filming all of this, my wife asked me to come outside and help her for just a minute, which I did. And as I did, she was working with the tiller. I watched her for just a minute on the tiller, and lo and behold, something else happened. I bent down to see what was going on, and I laid my hand on the motor and burned all of this area from here all the way around to here. Burned my hand on the muffler. In fact, right across there, I know you can't see that, but it's got HOT where they have the warning on the muffler that it is hot. It is, and I told my wife I have proof now that I am too. So she just kind of laughed and said, "Yeah, okay." Anyway, we are ready to assemble. You can see right here toward the bottom, you have all of the 9 blanks that have been turned. They're sanded, they're finished, they're ready to go. All we have to do is to assemble. And what the instructions say is to put the spring on the refill, place it into the nib, and then we're going to take the transmission. There we go. It wasn't all the way up in there. And then we got to twist that, screw it in. There we go. Now, that works beautifully. Great. Okay, so this one is the one single cherry one that I did. We're going to press it into place. I'm actually going to come around the other, well, I'm not going to go around to the other side, but I am going to turn my blank around, or my pin around, so that the metal is against the HDPE plastic part so it doesn't scratch it. I don't think it would anyway, but just in case. There we go. Just making sure it's actually in the Every once in a while they want to fight you just a little bit. This one is. There we go. There. That's in. Slips into here, slides together. There is pin number 1. One cherry pin ready to go to the military. I'm not sure what I've said and what I haven't said. All of these pins are being done for Freedom Pen Project. It's a project that was started many years ago. And the folks who started it have all retired out. They're not involved in the military any longer. Our club, the Worldwide Woodturners, has taken on this project so that we can continue it on. We feel it's important enough that our troops be given a gift. Let them know that they are appreciated. That refill still had a little wax tip on it. There we go. So, it's an interesting development. We were challenged as a club to do 22 pins each. Not as a club, but to do 22 pins each by Memorial Day. Today happens to be Memorial Day when I'm putting these all together. And so this is, I've already done 10. These are the balance of my 10 of my 22. Here, I'm going to do them that way. So the way I was doing them, I think it's going to be a little easier. There we go. So anyway, we're going to go on. I'm going to cut the camera now. We'll come back when I'm working on the final 3 of this 12 that I need to make. Okay, I've just brought you back. We're about to assemble the second style that I'm doing for this Freedom Pen project. This one is called Stratus, and it is a click pen. So what we're doing is we've laid out, well, we've already cut the blanks, we drilled them, we inserted the tubes, squared them, turned them, finished them. You see the 3 of them here. Two more oak, and this one is a maple, an odd maple here. The other batch had an odd cherry, but this one has a maple. So we're going to assemble this one, and one of the things that makes it life a little easier sometimes is laying them out. There's always in the instructions there's a picture of all the pieces laid out, and one more thing that I can do for me to simplify things is to lay them out just like the picture. That way I can go right down the order and put them all together. So what this says is to press the click assembly into one end of the blank. Here's the click assembly, so we're going to put it in just like this. We have to press that in. So we'll adjust, bring the plunger in and just bring that down. Let me switch hands so that you can see. Bink, just like that. Simple as that. All right, and then we are to press the tip coupler, that's this one, into the other end. We have to readjust again. One of these days I'm going to make a series of wood blocks to go in so that I don't have to turn this knob all the time. And I've said it before, others have said it as well. This pen press is not a mandatory kind of thing. This is a luxury. You can use a clamp, a C-clamp. You can use the trigger type. You can use your lathe. You can use the drill press. You can use anything that'll cause these pieces to be pushed together. Okay, and then we have to, I'm going to lay that back down. Got to take this little cap off. Put the spring over the refill. It doesn't matter which end on this particular one. The spring is the same on both ends. But we put the spring over the refill. We put that in and screw this down. Easy as that. And then the plunger gets screwed on the back end. Just make sure everything's tight. There you go. Retracts all the way. Well, that's the second type. That's a Stratus. And as I said, these are going to Freedom Pen. They will be given, they'll be sent off and given away to military folks, active duty folks. And I'm just pleased as punch to be able to be a part of this. I thank all of you military folks. If you're retired or have come out of the military, thank you for your service. If you're active in the military service even now, I appreciate what you're doing. My freedom depends on you, and I am so grateful for that. For those of you who may have lost loved ones, maybe a grandfather, a father, a son, an uncle, a nephew, a cousin. I'm sorry for your loss, and I pray for that God will lift you up and make you stronger. But I thank you for your sacrifice as well, and for the sacrifice that your loved one made for our country. This is Memorial Day, and we are remembering those who gave their life. And the best thing that I can do, the best thing I can say is thank you. One of the best things I can do is make a series of pins to be sent to active military personnel. Thank you for your service. This is Doug at Wood Spun Round.